When inspiration hits, create. Don't put it off till later. And this is one of the biggest tips in becoming a self-sufficient creator versus a service-based creator is when that inspiration hits, create. The people that you watch on YouTube and all over social media platforms, they aren't like, oh, that's a good idea to whatever they believe in, whether it's spirit, their intuition, God, or they're not like, oh, thank you for that, I'll do it in 2 weeks. They're like, actually, let me put that project on pause, and they build it. And I've seen people in Austin be this way, and I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, I need to pay attention to that, because maybe you're like me, and you know, the old creator I used to be would be get these massive downloads and be like, yeah, I'll do it later. And then I'd get around to it, and then a client project would come in, and then I'd be like, oh no, the client stuff's more important. We're building the business here. And then I would like have a really dope project and I wouldn't finish it, or it would stay on the, you know, hard drive forever and nothing would ever get done. And then, but you know, the client stuff was getting done and their brands were growing. And I had this, I want to call it like a wound that I was like, man, their stuff's more important. They're paying me. Since they're paying me, this has to get done before anything I do. And then the wildest thing would happen, and you might be able to really relate to this, is like, if you're an artist like I am and you don't do stuff for yourself, you don't express yourself, you don't just play around with creations and put out your own stuff, like I get really depressed. Like people will say they get depressed and I'm like, I get super depressed and I'm like, what's wrong? And I'm trying to figure it out. And it's just simply like, create for yourself, create, express yourself, put it out there, have fun with it. And that's what I've been doing lately, and it's been like, I have been on the highest high lately. I've just felt great in my body. I just feel like everything's going well, even though all the pieces in my life aren't exactly lined up and stacking in my favor. Everything's shifting right now, right? Like I just hit a sign, like a little pyramid, triangle sign on the road the other day. It took off the lower part of my bumper, and I was like, dang. And they old me, and I checked it this morning. I was like, I don't even care. And then as long as my car was still drivable, right? And then I checked it this morning, I was like, well, that sucks. Anyways, I can't wait to post my video today. And it's like, and I used to attach to that stuff, but it's like so obsolete now, anything that happens, because I'm sticking to like what I call my Ikigai. If you guys haven't read that book, read it. It's by Hector Garcia, and it's Ikigai. It's incredible. It's an incredible book. And it talks about a very similar thing, but it's essentially like whether you're monetizing it or not, like everybody has this one thing in them, and that's like what is inspiration is built off of. And it's like when inspiration hits, create with it. It doesn't matter if you're monetizing it in this moment, you probably will later on in life, or it's just gonna give you that life force energy, that willpower to get shit done and feel good in your body. Because honestly, it doesn't matter to me. It's like I could have 50 grand in the bank or $0 and I feel the same, right? Like as long as I have my camera, my computer, my backpack, and I can hop on a jet and go somewhere different and explore and create and travel, like that's all I need. And it's like, and in stating all that, that's when inspiration hits. For instance, if you guys haven't seen it, it's on my YouTube channel. It's called The Bright Side. I'll put it up here in the video, or I'll put it at the end of this video so it doesn't bounce you guys off this. But I flew out when I was broke and stressed to Arizona and hung out with my buddy in Scottsdale. And I've been playing with this song for a while, and it's something that I always wanted to do. It's called The Bright Side by Mike. It's an incredible song, very meaningful to me. But I got to Arizona, which is my descendant Mars astrocartography line, and my IC Mercury. And whenever I'm on that line, inspiration hits. When I went to Vegas in April, I filmed an event and I sat in my hotel room because inspiration was leading me down to building what I built on AI and building software. And I'm like, it hit. And everyone's like, how was Vegas? I was like, it was great. I sat in my hotel room and played with AI the whole time. Never would have said that ever before. And then go to Arizona, hanging out with my buddy, chilling on the couch one night. Inspiration hit, and I was like, it is 11 o'clock, cool, we're gonna stay up as late as this channel lasts. And when I say channel, that's like my intuition. Like I get visions, clairvoyancy, and like I get the whole build out, essentially downloaded, like Nikola Tesla talked about. And then and then I built it, and then I didn't even know what I was creating. I was just flowing with it. No desires of anything that I was gonna create and complete, and even started with maybe the first 30 seconds of the song or something. And then was like the next day I went out and filmed some stuff randomly, and it's like my spirit, my intuition led me on a journey, and I went for a hike and then couldn't afford that hike and then parked somewhere else, or played around and got some cool shots. And then on the drive back, I saw a bunch of cars parked and was like, that won't go up there. And then sure enough, it was 1,500 feet elevation gain, double black diamond, and it was the local Scottsdale side instead of the state park side, and ended up getting to the top of that rock anyways. And that's such a good story. And that video essentially portrays that journey of like, oh, you want this, but you don't have it. But I didn't quit, and I still got there, you know. And that's a completely different video. But I will link that video to the end of this because it's one of my favorite videos I've ever created. But that's the one I dropped today, the 30 days in ATX. It comes out at 7 p.m. tonight. That one, whew, it's on Instagram right now. That thing, whew. But it's like inspiration, and all the projects I mentioned hit out of the blue. I had other stuff to do, but I said, this stuff can wait. Inspiration just showed up, and I think inspiration is one of the harder things to find if you're searching for it. But when it magically shows up and it lands and it tells you exactly how to build, you know, like that's not a normal thing. And forever I thought it was normal in my life. And now when it hits, it doesn't matter where I'm at, what I'm doing, or what I'm obligated to complete. I'm like, pause, zoom. And I think that's like a big part in your life too, because if you're service-based, you probably have the belief that you need to help other people before you can help yourself, but it actually works backwards. When you help yourself, you can help other people. And even as like a photographer, videographer, editor, graphic designer, whatever you're doing, when you blow up and become a public figure and put yourself out there and grow a personal brand, anybody who works with you gets that reciprocal too of like, you know, if you do a collab project or you post it with them, like you're pulling them into you. And think how much more beneficial that is if you double down on yourself, you create for yourself, you get a name for yourself, you become an influencer, like build your stuff out there to a public figure. Now when people work with you, they get the added bonus of just working with you because of who you are and what you've created for yourself. Versus if you're always putting in time and effort and putting everybody else first to create space for yourself like I did for 8 years. God, don't do that. If you're doing that, stop that right now. It has no benefits. You'll burn out. You'll lose your creativity. It sucks, right? But it's like, think about it. Through me, I can help others. But if I help others first, they're probably going to forget about me or keep moving on to the next thing because all I'm doing is essentially giving them my power for a moment. And then the next one comes up and they do it with somebody else, right? And then it's like, versus like, man, when I work with you, blah, blah, blah happened. And then like that video did really good. Like, and that's like what influencing and becoming a public figure is. But it's like, you will be tested. You right there, you will be tested on this. Believe me, I got tested for years on it. And I finally turned the other way and did it the opposite because I was like, I had self-worth, I had confidence, and I saw how dope my shit was, right? Which is another part of the artist journey too, is like what you create is dope. You just might not realize it, and it's perfect. You might find all these imperfections of it, but let that go. Like it's already perfect. If you can't see it, you got stuff in the way, creating an illusion to obstruct the perfection that you're already creating. And it's like there's different levels. There's a different devil at every level too, but at the end of the day, you know, like without you, your work doesn't exist and you can't help other people. So if you don't take care of yourself and like, you know, honor your creativity, honor your personal expression, and you suppress all that to endlessly chase money, that money's going to burn out. When you burn out, the bank account drops real quick with it too. But if you endlessly create for yourself and you value yourself and you put yourself first, others, like the other video, others are going to put you first. And then you can start really bringing those dreams to reality and turn them from a fantasy or a delusion, which is just a dream that we don't act on, and build it into reality and start making those simple changes. And yeah, I think you'll be amazed at what happens. And I think that's a long enough video for today. This one's pretty straightforward, but I will link the 30 days in ATX video after this, but it won't drop till 7 tonight. We might just drop it now. Who knows? I don't even know. I'm just, what did Mike say in that one song? I live the journey, then I copyright the script. That's how I do too. Is like, I don't create the plan, I live it. And then I'm like, oh, I see how it works afterwards. And then that becomes the copyright, the journey, and what gets thrown out or what gets put out on social media. So yeah, peace out. Have a good day. I love this series. I hope you're loving it too. And I hope you love the video that you see after this video. Peace. I'm so tired from traveling.